If I can have your attention here in the Media Center. Good afternoon, everyone. We'll go ahead and kick off our afternoon driver availability session here at Michigan International Speedway. At this time, we welcome Carl Edwards, driver of the number 99 Aflac Ford. Carl currently sits second in points with one win this season. Talk a little bit about being here at Michigan again, what this track means to you, and the few races we have left heading into the chase.
I'm glad to be back here at Michigan. The last race we had here, we were in position to win, and we got that late race caution, and we ended up third, but we had a car that could win. So I'm glad to be back here. I love racing here. We've got a bunch of folks from Ford coming out here on Sunday morning. Mr. Mullally is going to be here from Ford, so that'll be neat to have those guys here supporting us. And it's a fun racetrack. You guys know how much I like this place. It's great to race on. We've had good luck here.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions here in the Media Center. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. We'll start with Mark and then come back up to Don.
Hey, Carl. Mark Allman, NASCAR.com. Can you walk me through the logistics of getting to Montreal tomorrow? How exactly is that going to work?
Well, it's going to be a little tougher than it should have been because I left my passport at home. So we're working on that. But I believe my passport is going to be driven up here tomorrow. So that's going to make it tougher. And then we also have Marcus Ambrose on board. He's going to ride with me. And I don't exactly know his status as a U.S. citizen or not. So I'm a little nervous about customs with Marcus. If he were to get tied up in customs, it would not be the worst thing in the world for me. So I'm not gonna help him in any way. And I'm the pilot, so I could say things on the radio that might, trigger some sort of, tougher investigation. Australia will rise again or something like that. But we're going to leave here after practice as fast. Well, we're going to follow all the rules of the road, but we're going to go to the airport. We're going to fly to Montreal, land at the airport. We have the customs folks. We've talked to them. They say they are going to make it somewhat easy on us. We're going to hopefully get in a helicopter there, and we should make it to the racetrack literally 5 minutes before the race starts. So it'll be really close. Billy Johnson's over there practicing my Fastenal Ford Mustang. And if we have any hiccups, he'll start the race, and we'll do a driver's change at the first stop is, I guess, the plan. But it's going to be neat. It'll be fun. It's fun to show up just in time for the race. Those are really fun weekends, so I'm looking forward to it. There's no pressure involved. You just go there and race, and there's not enough time really to get any anxiety over anything. It's kind of an adventure. So that's it.
Next question will take us from Don.
But my passport has to get here first, so.
Then we'll go back to Claire, Wolfgang, and then back up to Lee.
It's Don Coble with Morris News Service. And by the way, if you get in trouble in Montreal, just ask for Tammy. My oldest daughter's the senior customs inspector at the Montreal airport.
All right. If we have any trouble, I'm going to come talk with you.
Ask for Tammy.
All right. Cool.
As we get closer to the chase,
they wouldn't let. We worked all morning to get them to let me come without a passport, and they wouldn't do it. So sent them photocopies and all that stuff, but they wouldn't do it. What's that? Yeah.
Yeah. You should have talked to me first.
All right. Well, we still might need you. So.
As we get closer to the chase and as the chase evolves, how important is it for you now in the next 4 weeks to kind of do the best you can to mend any fences you've got with guys so paybacks aren't hell when you really have to race?
That's a good question. I hadn't thought of it that way, but every week people have the chance to make people mad or get revenge if they think they need it or whatever. And I feel like right now, as far as I know, I don't have anybody out to wreck me, as far as I know. So I don't have anyone to go rush around and try to make amends with. But I think, I might be naive to think this, but I think as we approach the chase, everyone knows how much is on the line. And I think it would be kind of foolish to go out and do something rash because, even though it might affect the guy that you're messing with a lot, he's going to be awfully upset. It might be worse for you on the other end. So I don't think there's a lot of that attitude right now in the garage. But I might not be accurate on that.
Next question from Claire.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Before I ask you the real question, I'm sort of intrigued here. I don't see Randy Fuller here, and I see Lori Holbison. Is Randy driving your? How's the passport being driven here? I have to know.
One of my friends. I don't want to name her name because she'll be embarrassed, but she's driving the passport here, we were going to send it in the mail, but then if something happened, we've got too much on the line with Fastenal and all the folks that have worked so hard to run that nationwide series. So she's going to drive it here, and Lori is here. Lori is Michigan native, and she's been on and off doing my PR for like 10 years now. So I'm in good hands here, and Randy's in Montreal, trying to make sure everything works on that end. Because with the helicopters and all that stuff, if we have some sort of hiccup, I mean, we literally won't make the start of the race, so we've got to make it work.
And talking about the chase, thank you for the answer. I just had to know. Talking about the chase, Jimmy Johnson was in here today saying, we're one of 4 that could solidify being in the chase, and we want that this weekend. We want to turn the momentum around, get trophies. Right. Then we had Kyle Busch in here talking about how he's keeping the Joe Gibbs Racing engine, while the engine of Toyota Racing Development will be with Denny Hamlin. What sorts of things are you having to think about, or what plans have you guys made related to the chase now?
We just have to use these last few weeks to really narrow our focus to being fast. We have to be fast. We've got great engines. Our pit stops have been pretty good. We haven't had any major problems there. We did have a little trouble with spring rubber at Watkins Glen. But overall, what we need to work on is being efficient in practice, making our cars better during practice. And as a driver, I've got to focus on not making any mistakes and communicating well, because this is the last bit of practice we have. We're not locked in, but I feel like we are going to be in the chase. I feel like we're getting close enough that we can count on being in the chase. And once those 10 races start, the way the competition is right now, any little mistake is going to be magnified more than it ever has been in the sport. So it's about kind of fine-tuning what you've got these last few weeks for us.
Next question from Wolfgang, then we'll come back up to Lee.
Wolfgang Monzer from Germany. Carl, after this year's Sprint Cup season, is there any plan to return to Düsseldorf to take part again in the Race of Champions?
Is it in Düsseldorf this year?
Yeah, it changed from Frankfurt to Düsseldorf. Yeah.
I'd love to. I didn't win one thing there last year, so I don't know if I'd be invited back. But if I were invited, I'd love to go. Düsseldorf is great. It was a lot of fun. And Travis Pastrana and I had a good time. I've had a really good time meeting the Formula One drivers over there, but I really have not done a good job. Last year I did not do a good job. It was terrible. So I've got to step it up. But hopefully I get to go back. It's an honor to be able to go be a part of something like that. It's huge. Same track? Well, that would be good. I have a little experience, and that'll be nice.
Lee
Spencer, Fox Sports. You're in a really good position in the chase. Is there somebody that kind of hits you other than Brad Keselowski? I mean, obviously he's had 2 wins and just made a phenomenal jump. Is there anybody else who could be in a wild card kind of situation that you feel could be a guy that could be a player?
I meant to look closely at that this week because I think it's really, really interesting. Right now, who's in right now? Is it Denny and Brad? But if Menard got a win, he's in, right? Right. But if Denny runs well and Tony falls out, then there's another 2 guys, and if Tony doesn't get a win or something like that, right? So I don't know, guys. This season, I would have said there's no way Brad's in. You know what I mean? Looking at it, 3 weeks ago or something, and all of a sudden he's come on. I mean, just in an amazing way. So, Paul Menard, David Reagan, any of these guys. I mean, look how fast his car is. I don't know where he's at in points. Is he in the top 20? 23rd. He's 23rd. But if he were to go out and win this weekend, then all of a sudden, he's on the cusp of being in the chase, and his car is fast enough, and he's been doing a good enough job. I really think this has the potential to be a shocker to all of us as to who makes the chase. I think it's. At first, I thought it was kind of a crazy idea. But I, as a fan, from the outside looking in, I think this is going to be really neat to see. But I don't have any real predictions because it's too up in the air. There's too much happening, too much changing quickly.
Questions for Carl? Okay, we got right back here.
Hey, Carl, how are you doing? Todd Anderson, ESPN. I was just curious about your thoughts on the Danica news.
What is the Danica news?
That she'll be running full-time in Nationwide Series, and then 2013 coming to the Cup side.
Cool. Who's she driving for?
Stuart Haas Racing Junior Motorsports for Nationwide. Stuart Haas. This is according to Marty Smith from Wednesday.
So is this a rumor, guys, or is this really? Did Danica say what she's doing? So Monty's saying it's true? All right. All right. You know what I'm going to do, because of what I just learned with my contract, is I'm just going to wait to see what Danica has to say. That's what I'm going to do.
Other questions for Carl?
All right.
Anybody else have questions? All right, Carl, thank you very much for your
All right.
time this afternoon. Good luck this
All
weekend.
right. Thanks,
Safe travels,
guys.
hopefully.
All right. Hopefully.